All right, let's just jump right into this explainer. We're going to figure out how to finally ditch that endless, soul crushing grind and start treating your GTA account like a highly scalable business. Look, if you've ever logged in, stared at the insane price tags on all those shiny new properties, and literally wondered how anyone affords them without turning the game into a second full time job, well, you're in the exact right place. Seriously, are you tired of grinding for hours with absolutely nothing to show for it? Because if you're exhausted by playing the exact same missions over and over again for, let's face it, tiny, frustrating payouts, this roadmap is exactly what you need to completely transform your bankroll. We're going to break down the exact strategies you need to maximize those earnings, totally regardless of what level you're starting at today. So you basically have two paths here. First, you've got the broke player. This guy grinds one single job and immediately blows all their hard-earned cash on flashy cars way too early. Just don't fall into that trap, okay? Instead, you want to be this smart player. You got to act like a startup CEO, diversify that income and invest your early capital into operations and businesses that actually, generate more cash. It takes money to make money, right? To get you there, we're following a clear 5-step path today, starting with the early game hustle, moving up to mid-tier active income, building passive empires, hitting those big heist payouts, and finally tying it all together with the ultimate wealth strategy. All right, step 1, the early game hustle, or how to build your very first bankroll. What's truly amazing here is just how incredibly accessible these early methods are. You can literally get your cash flow moving with zero capital. You definitely don't need a massive business empire yet, and you definitely don't need expensive gear. For a super reliable, easy start, contact missions are your best friend. Highly repeatable. You just complete the job, grab the payout, and run it back. But hey, if you are completely flat broke, do not, I repeat, do not ignore those one-time payouts. Things like treasure hunts, collectibles, and special challenges. They give you a fantastic immediate injection of cash. That's the crucial seed money you're gonna need to actually kickstart the rest of your empire. Moving right along to step 2, mid-tier active income. This is all about scaling up your capital. So once you finally scrape together that first real chunk of change, the game changes entirely. You unlock VIP and CEO work. We're talking relatively straightforward jobs here. You've got Headhunter, which is basically an active target assassination with a super quick payout, and Sightseer, which is all about hacking and collecting. But the absolute best part about these, they are literally perfect for filling your downtime. You just start the activity, knock out the objectives, get paid, and bam, immediately move on to the next thing. It's an absolutely amazing system to keep your earnings rolling in consistently. Okay, step 3, building passive empires. Or, as I like to call it, making money while you sleep. The whole concept of passive income in this game is an absolute game changer. Basically, it means you're generating warehouse stock or product entirely in the background while your active gameplay is focused somewhere else. Businesses like the nightclub can generate massive amounts of stock over time. The real trick, though, is you have to make sure you connect the right businesses to it first. Once you do that, you aren't just constantly grinding away at one single activity anymore. You are literally building an automated operation. To give you a real sense of how this passive cycle works, let's use the Acid Lab as an example. You do the initial, upfront setup on day 1, and then you just wait. That's it. While that product is quietly producing in the background over the next few hours, you are totally free to go run those quick VIP missions we just talked about. Then finally, when the stock is completely ready, you just jump back in for the final minute to execute the actual sell mission. You see, you're never forced to just sit there twiddling your thumbs or doing the exact same thing over and over. But hey, remember the ultimate golden rule here? Build gradually and always reinvest your profits. The real secret to the nightclub and these bigger long-term money games is just patience. Please do not go out and buy everything blindly just because you can. Actually use your earnings from those active missions to gradually build up your business network, and then just sit back and watch your automated cash flow multiply. Which brings us to step 4, big heist payouts, the true endgame scores. So, with all your passive businesses quietly churning out cash in the background, you are finally ready to tackle heists. Now, these are going to provide enormous, game-changing windfalls, but they demand a lot from you in return. We're talking almost half the efforts. About 45% is just pure preparation. Then you've got another 35% that's a pretty heavy time commitment, and the remaining 20% is all about crew coordination. They just require so much more setup than those beginner methods. And that's exactly why our strategy is to use those smaller methods to build your bankroll up first. Ideally, gather some friends who are actually willing to coordinate with you, and then make your move into these massive payouts. Finally, we arrive at step 5, the ultimate wealth strategy. This is all about maximum synergy. The absolute biggest mistake players make is finding just one money-making method and grinding it until they are completely mind-numbingly bored. Instead, you've got to combine your activities into this fluid, continuous loop. First, start your passive business producing. Then, immediately run a quick active mission, like one of those VIP jobs. After that, check back on your business, maybe grab a quick collectible, and finally, sell off your passive stock the second it's fully ready. When you layer background production with those quick active missions like this, you are quite literally constantly making money, and you're never just standing around waiting. It really all boils down to this. That is exactly how you go from broke to millions without turning GTA Online into a second job. By building your cash flow first with simple missions, adding in those amazing passive income businesses, and then accelerating that entire machine with heists, you completely conquer the game's economy. It's the ultimate cliché, but it's true. You're working smarter, not harder. So you follow the strategy, you put in the efficient work, and you finally hit that magic number, your first cool $1 million. But now that you actually have the ultimate strategy to reach that first million, what in the world is the very first thing you should spend it on to keep all this momentum going?